Welcome back, everyone. We really appreciate you tuning in to Open Line on this Thursday night as we talk about learning loss during the pandemic. And we welcome our guests again, Sonya Thomas and John Little. And I told them we'd get right to the phones. And Vince has been holding patiently on line one. Hey, Vince.
I'd like to commend PROPEL as you advocate for the parents and students of Metro, and especially my school board representative John Little, which represents the Hermitage and the Old Hickory area. And I'd like to thank him for all that he's doing, not only for District 4, but as he addressed the issues throughout Metro Nashville. But it's important, though, that we can't limit our involvement to one group. PROPEL is doing a wonderful job, but it's going to take more business. Business going to have to become involved with the Pencil Foundation. Well, it was Pencil Foundation when I was a part of it. One of my experiences is being a representative to McKissick School from my employer at DuPont with the Pencil Foundation. But it's going to take more business to encourage the employees to become involved with the students. Whether you're a parent, a grandparent, or not,
right?
We need to be concerned with our youth.
Yeah.
Whether they are pre-K or whether they are seniors in high school. So it's going to be a community effort. I just believe that sooner or later, and really sooner rather than later, we're going to address this COVID. But then the issue with how we educate our students is going to continue. So it's going to take a big effort, and I think that I'm proud that with groups like PROPEL and certainly representative like Mr. Little and also the lady is working with that. And but it's going to take a community effort, and I just like to again enjoy your show and appreciate your guests.
Thank you, Vince, so much. That's a great call, and it's a great reminder that he mentioned the Pencil Foundation. There are a lot of great nonprofits out there working on this issue, working with our kids, and also the corporate partners. These are our kids because eventually they're going to graduate, and some will go on to college, some may go into technical schools, or some may get jobs right out of high school, but we want them to be as prepared for the workforce. I mean, we're all going to benefit from that. These companies are going to benefit from that if they get involved, right?
Absolutely. I always say that we all should be awake at night when we think about how catastrophic COVID-19 is going to be on our kids. None of us should be getting any sleep. And it's going to take each and every one of us to make sure that all of these children are successful. And I believe that people will come together just like any other catastrophic event. And we will make sure that our children are successful. So I'm hopeful, and we appreciate the caller. John is great. I'm so glad to be working with John. We appreciate him. So thank you for showing appreciation for John.
Thank you, Mr. Horsley.
All right, let's go back. We got Kevin on line 2. Hi, Kevin. Welcome to Open Line. Kevin, you there?
Oh, yes.
Go ahead.
I want to say thank you to both of you and the work you're doing. Teachers are our unsung heroes, and they work so hard. And I think when we see legislation issues that arise in light of this, COVID-19, and we hear that you've got to have a certain amount of days, I think the community needs to hear what our teachers do every day in light of our students. Maybe take a walk in their shoes to see the amount of effort, the amount of love, the amount of care that goes into their work, and let the community understand the relationship that goes into everyday efforts of our administrators and our teachers. And so as we look at MNPS, and how will MNPS communicate this type of need in relationship, and what are our proactive plans for next year as we begin to recoup learning loss? For example, after school programming, summer school programming, has that been talked on the board floor, and what are some of the plans as we look forward?
Yeah, that's a great point there too, that I was going to mention. How do we fill in the gaps? How do we try to catch up? And does that mean, like you said, after school and summer school and so on? What do you guys think?
I think we got to be intentional. You know, whenever we have a natural disaster, when we had a flood in 2010, we had a plan for Nashville to rebuild and regrow. When the tornadoes hit in Donaldson in North Nashville, we had a plan. And so if we walk into this without a plan, and teachers, and I'm gonna say this, and it may be controversial, like at this point, I know they're battling back and forth, but while the state government and teachers are battling, like we're losing a whole generation of kids. And so I think it's time out talking about adults. I think the only thing I wanna hear is, how do we recover kids? Like, how do we make sure kids are graduating, ready to read, ready to go into the workforce? Because if they don't, Rhori, they're not going to be productive citizens in our city. And when we don't have a tax base, our city starts to decline. And so we talk about adults all day. I want to hear from people about, what do we do for these kids? Because kids do not disappear. Kids do not go away. They will be here the right way, or it'll be the hard way if they don't have an education. And that's the criminal justice system, that's homelessness, that's job loss. So that's what I want to talk about. I'm sorry.
That's a great example of the ripple effect, right? I mean, the ripple effect is wide and is very far-reaching. Sonya.
It is. I mean, we experience it every day. Our kids, they go from schoolyards to prison yards to graveyards. And we see this all the time. And so, as John was saying, if we don't have a plan and have bold leadership, like it's going to take taking some bold leadership, making some decisions that are going to really be hard, but they have to be centered in the best interest of children and not the adults.
Right. Let's go back to the phones and welcome a good friend of ours. Reverend Enoch Fuzz is on the line. Hello, Pastor. How are you, sir?
Hey, Rhori. Are you there?
I'm here, sir.
Okay, good. Hey, John and Sonya. You know,
How you doing, sir?
Hey.
I'm really afraid, Rhori. I'm afraid of the future.
Okay.
We talk about having a plan, but that's what we're talking about it. We're talking about having a plan. Where is, somebody needs to be saying, this is what we've got to do. This is what we have to do. Romance without finance is a nuisance. Think about that church, John, that you said you visited. What resources do they have from the state or from local government? Not from the businesses. The businesses pay taxes. When we had this coronavirus, the federal government came up with a stimulus plan, a $2 trillion thing that put money in people's pockets. If you've got a plan and you don't have any money to implement that plan, you may as well not have a plan. What good is it to be smart and kids know how to read if they're not alive, if they are sick, if we're making all the teachers sick? Our state government, and I will ask you to say something about it. They're having a special session in the legislature. What do you think? Is it real? Come on, they've already turned down giving the teachers some money. I hear teachers saying, I can't go back. How can we help these children if we don't have the resources there to help them? We're talking about a plan. You got to have the plan before you go back. So I'm really afraid. And can we make up this year, just like you're saying? They've been out a year and a half. Can kids make this up? Do they go to school until they're 19 or 20 instead of graduating when they're 17 and 18? Those are some of my crazy thoughts.
No, they're not crazy at all, Reverend. Thank you for the call.
They're not crazy.
We appreciate it. And I will say, all the years I've been doing this, that's one of the most passionate phone calls I've heard from him. Because
Yes.
you know, he's living in reality here, and he knows. He lives in it day to day. He sees the issue in front of us.
Yeah, can I add something real quick? So Reverend Buzz was my pastor growing up. You know, he kept us in Boy Scouts. He was very active in the Preston Taylor community, and he was so passionate about kids. I remember one day we got into a fight, another child, and Reverend Buzz was so disappointed. He grabbed us, he dragged us by our collars to the sanctuary, put us on our knees, and made us pray. But it was a kid-centered approach. He was fighting for the kids. He wasn't talking about where are your parents at. He was like, I need to help the kids. And I give my success a lot to pastors like Reverend Buzz, who has given his all to the future of Nashville, most important for kids. So thank you, Reverend Buzz.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's amazing, Rhori, because now we're seeing and hearing from children. We have children calling us now, not just parents. We started off with parents just calling us. And now we have children who are finding us and asking us to fight for them because they want to be successful. They want to learn.
Right.
And so we really got to get focused. Like Reverend Buzz said, like, you can't keep talking about a plan. We really haven't heard a plan on the state level or the district level. And people have expectations that we will hear one soon. So he's spot on.
Yeah. All right, with that, we're going to take another break. We've got one caller on. This is your chance to call in. We're going to have our final full segment here, so 737+ is the phone number. We'll be right back.